Good day, everybody. My name is Dana Massett with the Sun Your Soul and the Mindful Mama. I'm literally in between clients, and I promised myself I was going to make a video today about how to keep your mental health, not just that feeling of you're swimming above the water, but the feeling of I've got this. I consistently have good days. I consistently feel balanced. I consistently feel happy. I feel self-worth. I feel self-honor. When we're healing mental health and really giving mental health attention, typically I feel as though we attach to one avenue or focus on one category that makes up mental health. So maybe the one category is psychotherapy, seeking out that intellectual and emotional support. But there's so many categories that make up a balanced mental health. So I want to talk about a couple. The holistic psychologist on Instagram posted this, and I'm like, I need to talk about this. It is so important. So play and movement, community and connection, boundaries. You know how much I love boundaries. Lifelong learning, discomfort and adversity, silent reflection, sleep, gut health, and purpose. So I want to actually talk about gut health first. I went on this journey discovering how important the health of our gut is in relation to our mental state of being. If our gut health if we don't have proper gut health, it can actually create anxiety, depression, manic episodes, triggers. It can basically weaken our mind and weaken our mental and emotional strength. So when you have bad bacteria, parasites in your gut, candida, maybe you experience a lot of bloating, a lot of heartburn, that is a good sign that your gut health is not where it needs to be. Also, if you have intense sugar cravings, that's also a significant sign that your gut health is not where it needs to be. That's a whole journey. You can go to a naturopath, you can go to an acupuncturist, you can do a cleanse, you can read up on it. There's this amazing book that I will post about. I don't know the exact name off the top of my head, but it even breaks down the different types of probiotics and what they're for. So when you go on the journey of your gut health, you don't just want to grab any probiotics and this is what I need and this is all I need. Depending on what's going on internally and mentally, that's going to decipher what probiotic you're going to need. Okay, purpose. Having a purpose in your life, and you can have many purposes. Maybe a purpose is your career, maybe a purpose is you being a mom, maybe your purpose is volunteering, maybe one of your purposes is just your journey of self-awareness and self-growth. Have many purposes. Whatever lights you up, whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you feel loved, whatever makes you feel, it's the feeling of like when I take a breath, I am filled up with my own energy. So that's like self-worth. But it's that feeling when I do this thing, it does that for me. It fills me up with light. So having purpose, sleep, everybody's different. Some people, I'm just checking the time really quick. Some people only need 5 hours of sleep. Now that's their body and their mind responding well to that length of sleep. Some people need 10 hours of sleep for them to wake up feeling invigorated, light, refreshed, not irritated, not cranky. You can't come up, I know they say I think like 8 hours of sleep is kind of like in between most people need that. And yes, that is probably true, but you really need to check out with yourself and see how you respond. How do you respond when you get 4 hours? How do you respond when you get 6 hours? That person that responds really well with 4 hours of sleep is not going to respond well if they push it to 8 or 10. So really listening to yourself and your body and your mind and seeing how you feel. Getting good sleep is also about what are you putting in your body. I do intermittent fasting, which is new for me, but I don't eat till 12 o'clock, and then starting at 12 p.m., and then I stop eating by 8 p.m. I typically go to bed around 10, so that gives my body this huge break to digest and kind of like cleanse, detox, and release. That works really good for me. I know a lot of people's sleep will be interrupted when, say, if they like drink alcohol or have sugar too close before their bedtime. You need to really kind of test things out and see how you respond and what works for you. Okay, silent reflection, meditation. I like how she called it silent reflection because meditation can feel really challenging to people. I think a lot of people think that they're not doing it right and give it up. So silent reflection is just taking that quiet time, having that relationship with yourself, listening to yourself, talking to yourself. How am I feeling? What do I need to change? What do I need to let go of? What do I want more of in my life? So having that silent reflection where you're just connecting with nature or connecting with your God, with source. It is so important to return to that place each and every single day. The people that I see that are most successful, and I don't mean just financially, but I mean in life in general, they feel joy, they feel connection, they can manifest really well, is those people that have that dedicated spiritual practice where they meet with their higher selves, source, God, the universe, each and every day. And typically it starts in the morning, so it can't get away from them. That is where they start their day, in the morning, and then life goes on, the day goes on. Lifelong learning. Learning can be signing up for a workshop, a retreat. Lifelong learning could be, yes, you get a bachelor's, you get a master's, you get a PhD. Life learning could be through books, through research, through documentaries. Lifelong learning looks different to so many people. And I think the point is, test your mind. Push your boundaries. Don't assume that you know everything and you've achieved everything. As soon as you say that, you are so limited. And your mental capabilities, your emotional capabilities, your spiritual capabilities, you should never have that feeling that I'm done. It should always be, I don't know everything. Maybe that's true. Let me research that. Ooh, that's interesting. Let me dive into that topic. That helps connect you and evolve your purpose. That helps evolve your relationships. That helps evolve you as a person and keeps life exciting. Okay, boundaries. I'm going to quickly go through boundaries because I talk about boundaries so much. So an in-depth conversation about boundaries, scroll my other videos, scroll my podcast. I'm obsessed with it. Boundaries is not about keeping people away from you, and boundaries is not a lack of intimacy. Boundaries is honoring your relationship with yourself and your energy with yourself, and saying, I am worth something and I know how to contain my energy, and this is how I contain and protect myself by having boundaries. I come first. I love myself first. And this is how I feel comfortable connecting with you or having a relationship with you. So it's really about self-love and honoring yourself first. Community and connection. Now, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, having connection is the opposite of addiction. When you have connection, and addiction looks different for everybody, but when you have that connection, that link to yourself, that link to another person, when you feel connection and relationship and not sameness, because we have to honor our differences, But it's that validation that we are one, we are a community, we have that in common. That just breathes light into us. When we don't have that feeling of connection, and listen, there's so many groups out there, there's so many different entries out there. If you don't feel you're syncing up to those people that maybe you once felt a connection with, keep reaching out and exploring different places to connect with other people. As you're evolving, your relationships need to evolve. And when you feel your relationships are disconnected, there's other things you can strengthen the relationship, or if you've outgrown it, there's more out there. Play and movement. Awakening and feeding that inner child is so important. So whether you're playing in the dirt, whether you're doing a home remodel project where you're moving your body, you're challenging your body, whether you're going to yoga, whether you're in softball, whether you have dance parties with yourself, moving your body and laughing and having fun and awakening that inner child is so important. It shakes off the low vibrational energies, it wakes up the light, it brings joy into us, and that is the magical energy that keeps us young, when we can be in that energy of play and movement. And lastly, but not least by any means, is discomfort and adversity. When you are feeling uncomfortable, you are on the edge of growth. So know that when a topic feels uncomfortable for you, or even a topic comes about that you don't even want to explore, it's actually very important that you do explore it and you do put in that extra effort to expand into that discomfort. Again, being uncomfortable is not a sign to run away from something. That is being unsafe. When you feel unsafe, that is when you pull back. When you're feeling uncomfortable and you're in a safe situation, move closer to it and you'll break through that discomfort to evolving yourself. You don't know everything. We don't know everything. We need to sometimes quiet ourselves to just listen and be in those spaces of discomfort to grow. Namaste.